Hello everyone, you are very welcome to our presentation on winter feed efficiency. My name is Olwen Gormley and the purpose of the presentation is to highlight the feeding issues on dairy farms this winter as a result of persistently wet weather in the past summer and early autumn. The challenging weather has left many farmers with not enough silage, and what silage they have made may be of low quality. We will identify practical steps which you as a dairy farmer could consider to try and address the problem. And it is very important to take action now rather than leaving it off until the problems get worse as the winter progresses. I would like to introduce Jane Sayers, CAFRE Dairying Advisor based in Omagh. Jane will look at how to establish silage quantity, how to calculate the herd's demand for silage, and how to prepare a winter feed plan. Jane will look at the importance of assessing silage quality and the level of milk production that the silage will support. She will also highlight the importance of maintaining the cow's body condition and feeding for performance and fertility. Jane will also provide some options of how to save on feed costs this winter. And now over to Jane.
The presentation is going to cover, firstly, the importance of analysing your silage to determine what the dry matter, ME, crude protein content and pH is, and also what the intake potential of that silage is, as in how much silage your cows are going to consume. Secondly, how to calculate or prepare a simple winter feed budget. This will entail measuring the winter feed supplies that are available in the silo pit and also in big bales. Thirdly, what is your herd demand? How much silage is needed for your cows over the winter period? And finally, conclude with what are your winter feed options this incoming winter. This slide illustrates the chemical composition of silage depending on cut. In this farm example, the farmer cut early in mid-May, and although there is a smaller crop, the quality is good in terms of dry matter 33.2, energy content 11.3, and protein of 13.6% respectively. Farmers that waited for more bulk have lower quality and it's also more variable. Second cut silage, as you can see, is not as good as first cut silage on this farm. Unfavourable weather and ground conditions delayed harvesting, which resulted in a lower dry matter silage, 23.4%, a lower energy content of 10.0, and this is reflected in the lower intake value of 89.9. Furthermore, this silage is only capable of supporting a milk yield of 5 litres, in contrast to the first cut silage, which is capable of supporting 10 litres. As a result of being able to support only 5 litres, this means that a higher level of concentrate feeding will be required with the second cut silage compared to first cut to maintain the same level of performance. Third cut silage is similar to second cut silage. What I'm trying to highlight is the variation on farm and silage quality this year, and more importantly, get your silage analysed in good time so that you work out the best feeding strategy for the herd this winter. Measuring silage tonnage. To measure the amount of silage tonnage in the pit, you need to work out the pit volume. This requires multiplying the length by the breadth by the height. In this worked example, we have multiplied the length 15 metres by the width 9.1 metres by the height 3.4 metres, and this comes to 327 cubic metres. In the previous slide, I highlighted the importance of knowing your silage analysis, and to work out the amount of tonnage in the pit, we need to know the dry matter firstly. It's important to have the dry matter, because the amount of feed in the pit will vary due to silage dry matter. Drier silage will have less fresh weight per cubic metre but will actually contain more feed due to the reduced water content. Depending on the silage dry matter, use the appropriate silage density conversion factor to work out the tonnage in the pit. For example, if the silage is 20%, use 0.77 silage density conversion factor. Measuring silage tonnage. In this example, assuming the silage is 20% dry matter and using the silage conversion factor of 0.77, simply multiply the volume, which is 327 meters cubed, by 0.77 conversion factor to calculate the tonnage of silage in the pit, which is 252 tonnes of silage in this pit. On this farm example, I have measured the amount of silage available for winter feeding to be as follows. First cut 350 tonnes, another pit of first cut 928 tonnes, second cut pit 639 tonnes, third cut 280 tonnes. This comes to a grand total of 2,197 tonnes of silage available for winter feeding. Herd feed demand, or how much silage is needed. This table shows the animal type and amount of silage they would consume each month, assuming silage is approximately 25%. For example, a milk cow would eat 1.5 tonnes of fresh silage a month. A dry cow would eat 1.2 tonnes of fresh silage a month. An in-calf heifer would eat 1.2 tonnes of silage a month, a maiden heifer 1 tonne, and a young calf approximately 6 months old would eat 0.8 tonnes of silage. In the example outlined, for 120 milk cows, 30 dry, 40 in-calf heifers, 40 maiden and 40 baby calves 6 months old, housed over a winter period of 6 months, the amount of silage needed is 2,016 tonnes fresh weight. In this worked farm example, there is 2,197 tonnes of silage available for the winter feeding, and the amount required by the dairy herd plus followers is 2,016 tonnes. Consequently, there is sufficient silage available. However, where there is a shortfall in silage available on your farm, it is recommended to take early steps to mitigate this situation by talking to your nutritionist or local calfrey advisor. Act early. Winter feed plan. Feed the best silage to the milking cows as they are bringing in income and generating cash flow. Get your silage analysed and formulate a diet using nuts or blend to meet the dairy cow's nutritional needs in terms of energy, protein, fibre, minerals and vitamins. Silage quality will dictate the level of concentrate feeding to support milk gains. Finally, feed poorer quality silage to youngs and dry stock. This slide illustrates the level of concentrate feeding required depending on silage quality and milk yield potential. For example, if you have poor quality silage, that is with a dry matter of 17%, 9 ME and a crude protein of 9%, for a herd doing 7,500 litres annually, the amount of silage would be 12.5 kilograms. In contrast, if the cows are being offered good silage at 25% dry matter, 11.5 ME, 15% protein, for a herd doing 7,500 litres, they only need 7 kilograms of concentrate. The level of concentrate feeding will depend on silage quality, cow body condition and required milk output. Where silage is of poor or moderate feed value, increased levels of concentrate feeding will be required to maintain milk yield. The maximum amount of daily concentrate which should be fed through the powder is 10 kilograms for cows and 8 kilos for heifers. Where higher levels of concentrate are fed on farm, consider using either out-of-powder feeders, midday feeding, or total mixed ration. Treats are fed on a little and often basis. Digestive upsets are minimised. Remember, nutrition has the largest influence on the economics of dairy milk production. Therefore, I cannot stress enough the importance that the cows are fed the correct level of concentrate feeding to support maintenance, milk yield, and ensure they go back and calve. Nutrition and early lactation. Energy is the most limiting nutrient. Let me explain. In early lactation, the dairy cow's appetite is limited. This is the green line. While milk yield is increasing, this is the black line. Consequently, the cow uses some of her body reserves, which leads to a body weight loss, the blue line. During this stage, the cow is in negative energy balance. Put simply, her intake does not match her output of milk. She will continue to lose weight while this imbalance persists. A more familiar farmer term is the cow is milking off her back. This imbalance can last for the first 100 days post-calving, and the objective for every dairy farmer should be to minimise the extent and duration of the negative energy balance. How? By minimising the body weight loss, considerable benefits can be achieved in terms of milk performance and fertility. This table shows the relationship between energy or condition score loss and conception rate. As already mentioned, you want to minimise body weight or condition score loss. This table clearly shows cows which had a condition score loss less than 0.5, approximately 30 kilograms live weight of loss, had the highest conception rate to first service at 65%. In contrast, cows which had condition score loss greater than 1, or they lost approximately 60 kilograms live weight, had only a conception rate of 17%. That was the cow back and calf. As the condition score loss increases, conception rate to first service declines. To minimise body condition score loss or live weight in early lactation, do not underfeed your cows. This will subsequently have an impact on the cows going back and calve and ultimately cash flow. This table shows the relationship between body weight loss in early lactation and interval to first service. As you can see from the table, cows which had less than 35 kilograms body weight loss, or approximately half a condition score, their interval to first service was 72 days. In contrast, cows which had a body weight loss greater than 35 kilograms, approximately half to one condition score, their interval to first service was 104 days. It has been calculated that for every day that the calving interval is extended, it costs approximately £3 per cow per day. In this example, there's 30 days of a difference in the calving interval. Where the calving interval is extended by 30 days in a 100 cow herd, it is costing about £9,000 per year in lost income and also will have an impact on cash flow. Bottom line, you're in a milk production system to continue to feed the cows to nutritional needs, which will pay dividends when milk price improves in terms of milk sales and also calf sales. Silage quality will dictate the type of ration you should feed to your cows. The ration should have a good energy density, greater than 11.5 megajoules per kilogram fresh weight, and be balanced for starch, fibre, fats, oils, and protein. In this table, where the silage has a high dry matter content greater than 25%, and the silage is either leafy or stemmy, there is the option of feeding a cereal-based ration, cereal being barley, wheat or maize. Be careful that the cows do not sort the silage out from the concentrate. In contrast, if you're feeding a wet silage less than 25% dry matter and it is either leafy or stemmy, there's complications with this type of silage because firstly, you may have low dry matter intakes. As a result, the concentrate or the ration composition becomes more critical. In such situations, concentrate cereal content barley, wheat or maize should be reduced to around 20% and digestible fibre content such as citrus pulp, soya hulls or sugar beet pulp should be increased to around 35%. As already mentioned, energy is the most limiting nutrient in the milk cow's diet. However, protein is also required for milk production. It is important the cow is fed a balanced diet of energy and protein to ensure optimum milk production. Depending on the cow's stage of lactation, the total crude protein content of the diet will vary. For example, a cow in early lactation will require a total diet crude protein content of 17%. This is a combination of the silage consumed on a dry matter basis and also the concentrate or blend consumed together to give a total diet crude protein content of 17%. In contrast, a cow in late lactation has a total diet crude protein content of 15%. It is important to balance the protein content of the concentrate or blend being fed with the protein content of the silage to achieve high levels of milk production. Concentrate protein content. The total crude protein content of the diet for a cow in early lactation should be approximately 17%. Normally, the crude protein content of grass silage is between 12 and 14%, and this needs to be balanced with a 20% protein concentrate or blend on a fresh weight basis to meet the cow's nutritional requirements. If, however, the crude protein content of the silage is lower at 8 to 12%, as is the case on many farms this winter, then a higher protein concentrate should be fed, which unfortunately will be more expensive. Alternatively, there is the option of accepting feeding a lower protein concentrate, which will be cheaper. The cows won't peak to the same level. However, neither will the cows lose excessive body condition, and consequently, they may go back and calve quicker. This may be beneficial if these animals hold, because when the milk price improves, they will be in the next stage of the higher milk prices and also have calf sales there as well, which will help cash flow. Even the best farmer won't make money this year. The low milk price is to do with the world markets, and it is out of every farmer's control the milk price received at the moment. However, you are in a milk production system and you cannot turn on or turn off the cows and producing milk, so you have to accept the milk price. You have no control over that. However, you can negotiate concentrate price. Consider feeding a lower protein concentrate or perhaps a cheaper concentrate. In this table, the milk price and the feed rate are both the same. However, the concentrate price is different. In scenario 1, the concentrate price is 40 pence per kilo and the margin over concentrate is 12 pence, whereas in scenario 2, the concentrate price is 35p pence per kilo and the margin over concentrate is 14 pence. So what can you do? You can focus on the feed efficiency and you can look at the concentrate price and the ingredients being fed. This table shows the chemical composition, that is energy, protein and starch content of some streets. Barley, wheat and maize are energy sources, highlighted in black. Sugar, beet, citrus, pulp and soya hulls are fibre sources, highlighted in red. Soya bean, rape and distillers are protein sources, highlighted in blue. Usually, a simple three-way ration would contain 1/3 cereal, 1/3 fibre and 1/3 protein. Money can be saved by buying suitable straights rather than compound rations. Furthermore, the concentrate portion of the diet can be tailor-made to match the feeding value of the forages available on the farm. It is vital to get the correct ration formulation to ensure you achieve target animal performance, be it milk yield with the dairy cows or live weight gain with the heifers. Consequently, consult a nutritionist to ensure the diets are balanced for all nutrients, especially minerals and vitamins. Some pointers: keep the numbers of ingredients to a minimum and be able to include each ingredient at a high level. Feeds such as cereals, pulps and maize gluten are high quality, and while they vary from batch to batch, they can be included at high levels. A well-balanced diet can be achieved with a small number of ingredients. An alternative option may be to purchase a blend of ingredients, particularly when looking for a protein balancer. What are your options to save money? Feed more of the blend in the wagon and less nuts in the parlour. Generally, the blend is cheaper than the nuts. Accept feeding a lower diet protein content to your dairy cows, and although they may not reach the same level of milk production performance, they may minimise excessive body condition loss. Consequently, these animals may go back and calve sooner, which in the long run means they will calve down again, and hopefully that will be whenever the milk price has improved and will generate additional cash flow for your business. Remember, energy is the biggest limiting nutrient in the dairy cow's diet, and then protein, so prioritise the cow's energy content diet. Is it really necessary to feed straw in the diet? If you have got some stemmy silage available on your farm, perhaps there is the option of just feeding the stemmy silage instead. Feed the young stock a barley, sugar beet pulp protein balancer. This may be cheaper than feeding a compound nut. Do you really need to include fats in your ration or your nut? Can you leave it out? And finally, keep it simple. So in concluding the presentation, first thing is to analyse your silage to identify what type of forage you're feeding. Secondly, prepare a simple winter feed budget to identify the amount of silage you have and the amount of silage your dairy herd requires. Feed the best silage to your dairy cows. Balance your silage with a suitable concentrate. Do not over or underfeed your cows, because this will have an effect on the subsequent lactation. Monitor cow performance in terms of milk yield, what the milk protein is, the fertility performance, the dung, and act now to improve feed efficiency.
Thank you, Jane, for your presentation. Over the next couple of slides, I would like to summarise the talk. It is clear that there are many challenges for dairy farmers this winter. Silage quantity and quality are major concerns, potentially increasing the input costs of feeding the herd. With the current volatile changes in milk price and input costs unprecedented, dairy farmers must plan now to minimise potential problems with winter feeding, and you really should have an action plan in place. The focus should be on feed efficiency. Making small changes can collectively contribute to reducing the feed costs. The first step of an action plan would be to establish the quantity and quality of silage that there is available on farm. Assess the winter demand to feed the herd and plan accordingly. If you have any surplus stock, that basically would be cull cows, cows not in calf, or those with health issues. And even if you have beef stores, by selling those, it will reduce demand on silage and provide much needed cash flow. Talk to your nutritionist to see if protein levels in the ration could be safely reduced. Ensure that transition and freshly calved cows receive extra care and a quality ration. You don't want a stale herd of cows when milk prices do improve. Manage feed carefully and try to reduce waste, such as at the silo face, at the feed barriers, and when filling the diet feeder. Check and calibrate feeders regularly to avoid overfeeding. Consider grouping batches of cows to reflect their feed demand. The milk price to concentrate ratio this winter reduces the profitability of producing extra litres, so try to be realistic in your targets for cow yields. And don't forget to regularly measure and monitor yield performance through, for example, CAFRE's Margin Over Concentrate online tool. And finally, take whatever help and support is available. Talk to your local CAFRE dairying advisor, a consultant, or your nutritionist, and rural support is always there to listen and guide in difficult times as well. It may help to remember that you're not alone and that every dairy farmer in Northern Ireland is in the same situation and facing the same challenges. Thank you very much for listening, and goodbye.